No man is free who is not first the master of himself. This is what I've been saying all along, guys. All of you are spending so much attention and energy on the external, on the enemies outside of yourself, on that individual who you're jealous of, watching their Instagram stories that they're getting ahead in life, or that YouTube video, or that Twitter post in respects to the money they're making and the women they're seeing. Is it not first important to understand that we should have our own faculties in control of first, to have jurisdiction over our animal? Would it not be more conducive to our success to have us working for us instead of having us working against us? And this is what our friend is finding here on 124 days of freedom, of mastery, of sexual energy. A higher consciousness can also be achieved when you're walking in congruence with God, the divine cosmos, whatever you want to call it. So gentlemen, let's go through this all together. Our brother's experience, volition, Maximus, over the last 124 days, my reality has changed so much for the better. I'm making this post to share my personal experience and views in case this may be of some use to you. And thank you, brother, it most certainly will. Let's begin with the philosophy of seminal retention. Here's why I think seminal retention can change your reality. Science tells us that all matter vibrates. Everything in the universe exists in vibration. One of the laws of the Kybalion as well. Consciousness, no less, must have a vibration. I anticipate this vibration or frequency is elevated once you practice seminal retention. Think of your consciousness as a radio antenna amidst a near infinite plane of parallel realities, all of which vibrate at a certain frequency. When our conscious vibration shifts upwards, we tune in ourselves into those higher realities and thus experience life with all the qualities of which that reality engenders. Gentlemen, there are parallel realities that exist in its infinite, in its expansive nature. And when we are faithful to this practice, we tune in, we switch up into that higher state of consciousness, and we begin to align with the highest reality of our true and most beautiful selves. Let's speak about synchronicity, one of the most fascinating aspects of this particular reality. In this new higher reality, your energetic body can finally see. You begin to move in harmony with life to manifest events that resonate at this higher level. I was nervous moving to LA for the first time on my own in February, but ended up landing in a dream spot in a guest house all by myself. The landlord who lives in front is literally a single beautiful woman who owns her own gardening business. So we get to walk through a beautifully set garden with a Buddha statue fountain when I get home. Last month, she invited me to jam in her garden because lo and behold, she plays the drums and I play guitar. Serendipity, synchronicity. There have been several instances where an old friend pops up in my head in the morning and by the afternoon they're texting me asking if we want to hang out. This is the law of resonance. I journaled one morning that I wanted more gigs. This individual was an actor to help make a positive difference in the world. Not long after this entry, I booked a national voiceover commercial for a government-sponsored position safety line that aims to help people who may have been exposed to poison. As above, so below, so within, so without. Everything is but a reflection of that which you hold most dear to you. Magnetism, another very elusive and esoteric aspect of doing what you're doing, because you're operating on this higher level of reality. You become an example for others who are under the surface trying to find a way up themselves. They're trying to make that step into that higher plane. You become a gateway, a template, an example, an ideal to strive towards. This is why jealousy happens, because they see in you the reflection of what they can be. They say hell is not a fiery place with demons, but it's coming face to face with the person who you could have been. Say that one more time. Hell is coming face to face with the person you could have been. No wonder people get malicious. No wonder people get envious. Every morning I run a mile through my neighborhood and then stretch at the same street sign. An older man once passing past me saying, "You're doing a great thing, young man, truly." And another woman earlier this week passed by saying, "You are so inspirational, really." I don't know if this is a consequence of living in LA. I know you Americans are very cheesy. Sometimes, forgive me. I'm coming with a British lens here. I have 3 old friends randomly hit me up to have lunch with them in a single month. In each meeting, I felt as if I were a sage. A sage. They would tell me what challenges they have faced, and I would advise them logically and create space for them emotionally. I help them heal, and I'm sure vice versa. People start to look at you as you are imbued with this kind of wisdom and congruence in life, and hopefully you will imbue that onto them. Having arrived home and exiting my car, still with my jiu-jitsu gi on, I noticed a neighbor pulling up out of their driveway, to whom I waved and smiled at. She pulled up directly with her teenage daughter in the passenger seat with big smiles on their faces, as if they were greeting a celebrity or viewing a natural wonder. They introduced themselves and we exchanged pleasantries. When you recognize that you are whole within, and there is nothing within you that is incomplete, people see that. They recognize there is a man who is complete, who is whole within himself. And similarly, you become contagious, you become magnetic, you become attractive. The divine feminine is receptive to the divine masculine. Of course, this is the act or law of polarity. Both are energized by each other's presence. A higher version of you is a higher, more potent divine masculine. I notice, especially in restaurants, that women tend to look my way often. If they're not looking directly at me, their body language or general viewpoints opens to include me. They become receptive to your energy. I was at a restaurant with my family a few weeks ago, and this stunningly beautiful woman came in alone to sit at the table in front of us. Although it would have made far more logical sense for her to take the seat with her back facing us, as there was a view, instead she took the seat facing almost directly in front of me. We were virtually in the center of each other's view in the entire meal. One of the most tangible and powerful subconscious methods of attraction is proximity. You want to be in somebody's orbit. You want to be near them. And it looks as if this is what this individual was experiencing. On my first day of improv classes at the Groundlings, I was paired with a girl who became very physical with her interaction, repeatedly grabbing my wrist in laughter and touching my shoulder in punctuating conversation. It was very playful in nature. It felt like we were kids. And that's an interesting way to describe it. There's often this idea or reality that once you're congruent and retaining your sexual energy, you become like a child. You become innocent. You become playful. You become whimsical. You become like God, because children are like God. And it's infectious. It's contagious. And here are some more very less than subtle signs of attraction through physical connection. I've had my ex DM me multiple times on Instagram to comment on my stories, how busy I've been and how many progressive changes I've been making on my life. We're on good terms, but it's been a while since I've talked to her. Other people reaching out to steal your energy. Service at higher reality, service to others become less of a choice and more of a way of being. It's not about the person you become, it's about the person you are becoming. Just last night, after seeing an improv show with my classmates, I decided to walk one of the girls to her car, since it was 4 blocks away in a sketchy part of LA. Admittedly, she was beautiful, but more than that, I saw she was visibly concerned about walking at that time of night. Do you want an escort to your car? I asked. No, it's okay. I have a knife, she says. Are you sure? I asked. Yes, she said. Normally I would just let them go, but instinctively I insisted, let's just walk together. She was relieved at the initiative. Gentlemen, there's far more areas I can go into here, but you can start to see there is very potent and palpable changes that begin to manifest themselves in your existence once you become congruent with being whole. Guidance, he talks about as well. In a higher state of vibration, you become more receptive to guidance from the forces beyond. Intuition begins to guide you. This individual's longest streak was 174 days, and I plan on going all the way. I've been practicing on and off for 5 years, and I'm finally learning what works, what doesn't. This chapter feels different. I have a good feeling about this year. Strength and health to all of you, gentlemen. Well, if that isn't an endorsement for being congruent with our sexual energies and the higher states of vibration that you will inhabit, the higher states of consciousness that will come to you as a consequence of you being in alignment with your values and your morals, I don't know what is. But gentlemen, like I always say, these are just theories. Take what is valuable, discard which is not, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Take care.